It is Wacky Wednesday. Let's go ahead and get warmed up, guys. Let's do some arm circles back, arm circles back. And here we are on day 3 of the ChrisFit week. As you guys know, my name is Coach Chris. I am a level 3 CrossFit trainer, which means I've spent thousands of hours over many years torturing you people. No, I'm just playing. Really just putting you through these workouts that help you to live up to your potential and live your life at its best. And let's go ahead and switch to some arm circles forward, arm circles forward. And we continue to get to know everyone in this ChrisFit crew better and better, and how this program has helped you. Truly appreciate you guys opening up. What I want to know from you guys today is, why is fitness so important to you in your life? How do you use your fitness? That's what we're going to find out as we continue to warm up. Let's move on to some arms across the chest. Hug yourself, love yourself. And while we are doing this, let's start with Samira. Go ahead, say your name, where you're from. Why is fitness so important to you in your life?
Hi, my name is Samira. I'm from Brockton, Massachusetts. And fitness is very important for my life because as a mother of teenagers and toddler, there's a lot of running around, bending down, picking up around the house. So the only way to be able to do this is by, exercising. And it helps too, my mental, health, because instead of being sitting down and all depressed and all, stressed out, I can take my stress out by exercising. So it helps a lot. And I can see a lot of improvement in my family because my kids are not saying that I'm always mad. I'm always, upset. So it is very important to me and my family.
Man, that is a super important answer. Thank you so much for opening up. Teenagers and toddlers, those are some tough teas, but you are definitely using this fitness to face that challenge. And let's move on to the wrist wave. Wrist wave, wrist wave. And while we are doing this wrist wave, let's see if we can hear from Miss Incredible. Go ahead, say your name, where you're from, and why is fitness so important to you in your life?
Hi, my name is Evie JC. We're from Brooklyn, New York. Fitness is very important in my case because I have a lot of health complications. So it's been proven that if you exercise, it actually improves or gives you a better quality of life. Therefore, exercising in my case has helped. Plus, as being a mom and a wife, I want to give my family the best. And the only way I can do that is by being fit. So this program has helped me quite a bit to feel better about myself and give more of myself.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And I really appreciate, everyone continuing on this theme of family and how taking care of yourself really helps us to give our all to those who matter the most. And let's do the wrist wave in the other direction. Sometimes I switch this up on you guys. See if the brain is working right. And while we are doing this wrist wave in the other direction, let's see if we can hear from DNA. Go ahead, guys. Say your name. Where are you zooming in from? And why is fitness so important to you guys?
Hello, everybody. This is Dina and Anita from London, UK. We like this fitness class because I personally like it because I became more fit, more flexible. And for example, in everyday life, when I do some cooking, when I squat down to get something from the bottom shelf, I don't get jelly legs. I don't have to hold on to something to get up, or I can get something up from the top shelf, like a heavy bag of potato. I can manage to do these simple everyday things.
Yeah, so I've always been into fitness, so cycling, running. I was quite good at powerlifting over the years, so it's really helped me, this class, because during the pandemic the gyms have just been shut for most of the year, and it's a great way to keep fit, keep my strength up, I've even been able to maintain the same standard of fitness. And one of the bonus of this class, I don't have to get the potatoes down from the shelf for my wife anymore. She's able to do it herself.
And benefits for the both of you guys. And thank you so much for zooming in from London. Really appreciate the international crew we have going on here. And let's now move on to some calf raises. Up on the toes, back on the heel, up on the toes, back on the heel. Or if we choose, we can do some wrist extensions if the calf raises aren't working for us. And while we are doing this, let's hear from Mighty Mouse. Go ahead, Mighty Mouse, say your name, where you're from. Why is fitness so important to you in your life?
My name is Renicia. I'm from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Fitness is important to me because it keeps me mobile. For a person who's in a wheelchair, that's important because you can't move around like everyone else. So you have to get the exercise in the best way you can. And I was doing it by myself, and I wasn't doing much exercise. And then also a person with chronic pain, like fibromyalgia, you wouldn't think they want to exercise, but the exercise helps me with my pain, with the stiffness I get in the morning, and the joint pain. And so exercise and fitness is very important to me because it helps me, it motivates me to keep going and be mobile. And that's very important. And then also with my weight loss goal. So all this play a part, and it helps me all together.
Thank you so much, Mighty Mouse. So glad, so encouraging to see how this program has helped you so much in many different ways. And let's now move on to some high knees. High knees into chest, high knees into chest. Or if we so choose, we could do some high elbows, if that works better for us. And while we are doing these high knees and or high elbows, let's see if we can hear from Happy Feet. Go ahead, Happy Feet, say your name, where you're from, and why is fitness so important to you in your life?
Hi, my name is Sheila. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And fitness is important to me because I lead a very busy life, and it allows me to do everything that I need to do with optimism and not be as cranky as when I have to do everything else. I'm a mother of two, a wife. I work full time, and I also have volunteer activities that I do on a daily basis. So it helps me do everything. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm not cranky. I wake up in a good mood. I'm looking forward to my workouts, and I use this time as my time, the time that I give myself every day to keep myself fit and keep myself motivated and energetic. So I really appreciate this time that we spent together doing this.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we really appreciate you and your dedication to this program. And so glad that it's been helping you in so many different areas of your life. And let's now move on to some jumping jacks, guys. Let's bring his heart rate up a little bit here. Let's do some jumping jacks. So a lot of you have been improving your fitness just through this base program. And, we can also benefit from some of the additional programs that are available, such as the Challenger School, for one thing. And everything we were just talking about here, going over our why, our motivation for following these workouts in this program is super important in order for consistency. We go over this and many other things in Challenger School, which is basically where we get together and we go over some strategies both inside and outside our workouts to maximize our health and fitness. So if you want to know more about that, feel free to message me directly and we'll get you some more details. But let's bring the heart rate back down. Let's go back to some arm circles back here. Arm circles back. And while we're doing arm circles back, let's see if we can hear from this lady, Christine. Go ahead and say your name, anything people should know about you, and why is fitness so important to you in your life?
I'm Christine. I'm Coach Chris's wife. And exercise is important to me in my life because it helps me to feel better and helps me to control my high blood pressure. And also helps me emotionally to deal with the stresses of life and to be able to help other people in my family as well. So I really appreciate that.
agreed on all those answers. So thank you so much. And let's take a break from this warm-up, guys. Break. And let's move on to the activation phase of our warm-up. So what we're going to do here is 4 different movements for 30 seconds at a time. They're going to get us specifically ready for today's workout. So right now, please just watch as we demonstrate these movements. And then we're going to put a timer on and then do all these movements together as a group. So the first move we're going to do for 30 seconds is air squats. So let's go ahead and have the Wonder Twins demonstrate some air squats for us in 2 different angles. So the air squat starts with the feet shoulder width apart, chest up, shoulders back, and we initiate with hips back, and then we go down as if we're sitting in a chair, and then we push those knees out to the side to create room for depth. And then we stand back up. And notice how they have their arms overhead, which helps them to maintain a nice upright torso, and they're actively pulling back. Now, it could be that getting our hips below the knees is a challenge for us. If that's the case, then let's progressively train our body with some progressively lower targets. Maybe we'll start with a chair, and we sit and stand to that chair with our arms up. And then as this becomes doable, then we can get progressively lower targets, such as maybe a footstool, and then eventually maybe a medicine ball, until we can sit and stand, which is basically what a squat is. We can squat to hips below knees without any assistance. Now, if we are doing this from the seated position, then we're going to do some overhead presses, thumbs starting on the shoulder, and we are pressing overhead, getting those biceps into the ear, and then back to thumbs on the shoulder on the way back down. After we've done squats for 30 seconds, we're then going to do leg raises. And let's have Pippi demonstrate some leg raises for us. We're going to lay on our back, and we are going to raise both legs nice and straight, preferably pointing those toes until those legs get to at least a 90-degree angle, and then back down. And notice how Pippi, on the way back down, she's not touching the ground. She's getting to about an inch of the ground. And then that really burns the core and works more of those muscles. But if needed, we can get those heels all the way on the ground as well. Those are 2 different options here on these leg raises. Now, if we're doing this from the seated position, then we are going to do some straight arm raises. We're going to start with the arms out in front of us like this, and we are raising those arms, getting the head in front, and we're going to do this for the second 30 seconds. And then after the leg raises, we're going to do some straight leg sit-ups. And let's see if we can have the twins go ahead and demonstrate some straight leg sit-ups for us. So we're going to be on the ground, legs out in front of us, and then we are laying all the way back, shoulder blades touching the ground, and then we are sitting up to an upright position, getting those shoulders in front of the hips. And notice she's doing the challenging version with the arms folded across the chest. If needed, we can use the arms for momentum as well. We can get those arms out behind us and then swing and then reach as far forward as possible. But once again, these are 2 different options to do these straight leg sit-ups. Now, if we are doing this from the seated position, then that's going to be reaching forward, reach up, and these are going to be the straight leg sit-ups from the seated position. And then finally, after the straight leg sit-ups, we are going to do some glute bridges. And let's go back to Pippi to demonstrate some glute bridges for us. So we're going to be face up once again, feet in close to the hips, and we're squeezing those glutes, getting it as high as we can into the air, which is going to be very important for the fast lift we're going to be doing today, the power clean. We'll talk more about that later. But squeezing those glutes to get them as high as we can into the air, higher and higher every rep, is going to activate those glutes and help us tremendously in today's workout. Now, if we're doing this from the seated position, we're going to start with those hands out in front of us like this, and we're opening those arms up behind us, and we're getting the chest far forward, and we're going back and forth doing these reverse chest flies. And that's what we're going to do for the fourth 30 seconds. So to get us started, I'm going to highlight the twins here, and we are starting with these air squats. So here we go, guys. 30 seconds of air squats. And then I'll remind you what we're doing as it comes next for 2 rounds of this activation warm-up total. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Good job, guys. We're getting activated here. Chest up, knees out to the side, squatting as low as we can. And it's also super encouraging to see how much improvement so many of us have made in our air squats since doing this program. They've been getting lower and lower with the posture improving tremendously. And 3, 2, 1, leg raises. Let's lay on our back, raising those legs to above 90 degrees. And whether they come all the way back down to the ground or we come to about an inch, that's 2 different options here. But we are getting the core nice and engaged through these straight leg raises here. A couple more seconds and we're going to move on to the straight leg sit-ups. In 3, 2, 1, straight leg sit-ups. Let's do this. Straight leg sit-ups, whether we're folding those arms across the chest or using the arms for momentum. Let's experiment and use the arms as much or as little as needed. And both of these movements together are going to help us to get ready for the V-ups that we're doing in today's workout, which we'll talk more about that later. But the V-up is equal parts legs and torso. 3, 2, 1, glute bridges. Let's get those feet in close to the hips. And then we are squeezing those glutes, getting it as high as we can into the air. And we are doing these glute bridges here, benefiting from that glute activation, getting those hips as high as we can. And we are rounding out this first round. We are going to go around to the second round here in a couple seconds. 3, 2, 1, air squats, round 2. Let's do this, guys. Chest up, knees out to the side. And we are getting those hips as low as we can. We also want to think slower down, faster up on these air squats. Really controlling the descent, working on our form. Sometimes when we slow things down, that's when we move better. Couple more seconds here. And 3, 2, 1, leg raises. Let's do these leg raises now, guys. We are laying on our back, getting those legs all the way up into the air, pointing those toes, keeping those legs close together. Very good. Couple more seconds on these leg raises here. And then we are going to move along to the straight leg sit-ups in 3, 2, 1, straight leg sit-ups. Let's do this. Swinging those arms or folding them across the chest, using however much or however little momentum is needed. We're getting the core nice and warmed up here. And then we are going to move along to these glute bridges for the last round of this warm-up here. In 3, 2, 1, glute bridges. Let's do this. Last round of glute bridges. Really feel the top of the movement, getting those hips as high as you can. Really helps with the dynamic, fast lifts that we do in this program every once in a while. Couple more seconds here. And 3, 2, 1, time. Good work, guys. Well, now it's time to grab a notepad or a whiteboard so we can write down today's workout. Experience has shown if we have the workout written down close by, then it's easier for us to keep track of where we are and what we're doing and not get lost. And as you guys know, we release these workouts in advance so that you can come prepared. So if you are a teacher's pet like JC or Evie, go ahead and show that whiteboard on screen, whether you choose to print it out, which is what I would do because my handwriting is horrible, or the twins with the same whiteboard as yesterday, So there you go. And who else? Ramen with some really big, neat handwriting as well. Very good. And who else? DNA, very practical, using the phone that they got the workout sent to. Very good. And we've got Samira with the high tech casting it to the screen here. So let's keep this held on screen here. If you're a teacher's pet, let's show everyone how prepared you are. So here we go. Teacher's pet picture here in 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Good work, guys. Well, let's go ahead now. And I'm going to share the workout on screen. If you haven't had a chance to write it down yet, that's fine. You can write it down and also make some notes about some movement options that you may choose to use. So what are we doing today? So today is Wacky Wednesday, and we are doing a 16-minute AMRAP, meaning we're all going to work out for 16 minutes, and each of us are going to do as many rounds as possible in 16 minutes. As many rounds of what? We're going to repeat the following 3 sets of exercises. We're going to do 15 V-ups, 10 dumbbell power cleans, and 5 dumbbell front squats. And we're going to keep repeating this over and over and over as many times as we can for 16 minutes. Some of us are going to get more rounds, some of us are going to get less rounds, but one thing for sure, we are all going to do our best. So let's now start to practice for these movements. The first thing we're going to practice for is the V-ups. And let's have the twins demonstrate some V-ups for us. So the V-up is where we're laying face up on the ground. And just like we did in the activation, it's both leg raise and straight leg sit-ups. We're raising both at the same time to reach the toes at the top. Now, this is a challenging movement for many due to range of motion, flexibility, and core strength. So what helps us to get closer to this is the knee shin toe drill. What does that mean? Simply, we're going to reach for the knee, then the shin, then the toe. And I'd like everyone to do a couple practice reps of these. Now, if we're doing this from the seated position, then the V-ups today is going to be reach forward, reach up, and this is going to be the V-ups from the seated position. But let me see everyone do a couple practice reps of this knee shin toe drill to get ready for today's workout. We're reaching for the knees, the shin, then the toe, and we are figuring out, okay, what's going to be a pretty sustainable height for me to reach for these 15 reps. And we'll talk about later how we can break this up. We can also incorporate some leg raises and some straight leg sit-ups along with these V-up attempts in order to get some practice in, but also to keep the intensity high. Awesome. So good job on these V-ups. Now, let's everybody grab some light weights. So either some light dumbbells, or it could be 2 shoes. It could be 2 water bottles. It could be 2 pillows. It could be 2 teddy bears. Whatever you have that's super, super light. That's what we are going for here. We always warm up light before we go heavy. So let's now start to practice the dumbbell movements that we are doing in today's workout. The first one we're going to do is dumbbell power cleans, which is basically where we lift those dumbbells from the ground, at least just one tip of the dumbbell each touching the ground. It could start either outside your feet, or you could have your feet slightly separated, and it could start inside your feet. Either way, that's up to you. But we are basically keeping it very close to the body, jumping it up with our glutes up to the shoulders and getting the elbows nice and high. And we're going to have the twins demonstrate a couple reps. So first demonstrating from outside the feet, the dumbbell starting down there, chest up, shoulders back, and then they are jumping it up using those glutes and keeping it very close to the body, Notice the dumbbell should be going up straight up the profile of the body, especially like Iris is doing. We don't want it to get too far away in front of us in the front, but we want those hips to power the movement, and then we are flipping those elbows as fast as we can and getting them nice and high in that receiving position at the top. And like we talked about, we could also start with the dumbbells inside the feet. So these are just two different options, and it's just really a matter of preference or what you're training for. Maybe try to do a combination of both throughout the workout. Now, if we are doing this from the seated position, then the dumbbells are going to start out in front of us in our lap, and then we are keeping it close to the body, boom, and then curling it up to the shoulders like this, elbows pointing forward, nice and high at the top of that receiving position like that. So let's have everybody now go ahead and get a couple practice reps in of the power clean. And it's also important to note that we are, jumping it up with the hips, but then as we receive, we are landing with our hips back, okay? And then we are getting those hips back in the receiving position in order to receive it correctly and reduce the strain on the lower back. But very good power cleans here. Awesome, very good. Keeping it close to the body. Wonderful, good work, guys. It should basically be going up the profile of the body there. That's how close we are keeping it, and then flipping those elbows nice and high. So that's the power clean. Now let's have the twins demonstrate some front squats for us. So basically at the end of that power clean motion, we've got the dumbbells on the shoulders, elbows pointing forward and up. We want those elbows nice and high. And then the same air squats we did in the activation, that's what we're doing here. We're getting those hips back and down, knees out to the side. Very important to keep the knees out to the side as we're squatting, to keep the back, the spine position the way it's supposed to be, especially at the bottom of the squat. We want those knees as wide as possible to maintain that lumbar curve. And keeping the elbows nice and high is what's going to help us to keep an upright torso in this squat. Now, if we are doing this from the seated position, then those dumbbells are going to start right here, and then we are going to press overhead, and this is how we are doing the dumbbell front squats from the seated position for today. So let's have everyone now, we're going to do a couple practice reps of these front squats, and just like in the activation phase, if we were squatting to a chair or something like that, some type of target for assistance, then that is fine. We can continue to do that. But very good, chest up, knees out to the side, getting super low on these squats. Love to see how everyone's squats are improving. Let's keep those elbows pointed forward though. Awesome, very good. Wonderful, good job on these squats, everybody. Well, now it's ramp up time. If you've been doing this program for a month or more, and you'd like to start practicing these dumbbell power cleans and these front squats with heavier weight, let's start to progressively get a couple practice reps in, maybe 3 to 4 practice reps of each movement, the power clean and the front squat, using progressively heavier weights. We don't just go straight for a heavy dumbbell. We do some in-between weights. But if this is our first month in this program, or we're just kind of getting back into it after some time off, please, let's keep the weight super light, the same one you just used in this warm-up. Very important for us to have the correct mechanics and consistency with these workouts before we add intensity by adding weight and going super fast. And whether we're ramping up or not, let's pay close attention to the following checklist. Number 1, please make sure your device is fully charged or plugged in so we can get through this whole workout together as a group. Number 2, let's grab some water. Let's take a sip. And let's make sure we have our water nearby so we can take a sip as needed all throughout this workout. Number 3, this is a 16-minute workout. We're all going to get a different amount of rounds in, some of us more, some of us less. We're all going to do our best, but how are we going to keep track of those rounds? Keeping track of our performance is an important part of this program. So if you want to use maybe a check mark system, wherever you wrote down the workout, that's one way to do it. Or if you want to make a game out of it, if you want to grab some objects like some quarters or some nickels or some dimes or some, board game pieces or whatever you want to use, every time you finish a round, you put one to the side. At the end of 16 minutes, you see what mess you made, and that's your performance, that's your score. Let's figure out how we're going to keep track of our score. Number 4, I'm going to have a 16-minute timer running. You may choose to use your own. That's totally fine. If you want to synchronize your timer with mine, I'm going to give everyone a 3, 2, 1, go countdown. And that's how you can synchronize your timer with mine. And then lastly, music, guys, super important for our performance to help us to do our best and to get the most out of these workouts. 16 minutes is enough time for one super epic long song or a couple really heart-thumping, make your pulse race songs. What's the music that you want to hear? We all have different tastes. You can put on whatever playlist you want, blast it as loud as you want, as long as it's not so loud that you can't hear me actively coaching and correcting you throughout the workout. I'm going to bring the workout back on screen here one more time for one last quick briefing. Then we'll take any questions you might have, and then we'll get started. So in just about a minute, I'm going to start the timer. And then for 16 minutes, we're going to do 15 V-ups, 10 dumbbell power cleans, 5 dumbbell front squats. And we're going to keep repeating these over and over and over as many times as we can for 16 minutes. Now, if we are working on our V-ups, then what I'd like to suggest is we split up this set of 15 into perhaps 5 straight leg raises, 5 straight leg sit-ups, and then 5 attempts at a V-up. So that's still going to be 15 total reps of those core movements, but we're getting, some practice movements in, some progressions, and then we are practicing the full movement. That's another way to do this if we are working on our V-ups. So do we have any questions about any of these movements or about the format of the workout or about your setup, anything at all that will help you to do this workout better? Otherwise, if you are ready to go, oh, looks like Bubbles has a question. Go ahead.
Quick question. So for our power cleans, if we're doing it with the dumbbells inside our legs, are our legs in the stance of a squat, like where we would be for our squats?
So that would be the idea. We want them as close as possible, but yeah, you are basically lifting from the squat stance, which is okay if you're using dumbbells. With a heavier barbell, then yeah, we would start with the feet closer together for sure. So some people decide to do these dumbbell power cleans with the dumbbells on the outside for exactly that reason, to continue to dial in, that jumping and landing footwork position. But some people decide to do what you're going to do and start from inside the feet to cycle through the power cleans faster, because then the feet just stay in the same position. So it's really just a matter of preference at that point and what your specific training goals are. But yeah, long story short, you start from the squat stance, you keep them there, you just keep cycling them fast. That was a very good question. Thank you so much. These questions help everybody. But it looks like we are ready to go. So go ahead and give me a thumbs up if we are good to go. Awesome. I'm going to highlight the twins to get us started, guys. So here we go for 16 minutes. We are doing 15 V-ups, 10 power cleans, and then 5 dumbbell front squats. One more strategy note, we're doing 10 power cleans, right? On that last power clean, it's good to go straight into the squats. So if you want to take like a quick breather after that 9th rep, and then after your 10th rep of the power clean, go into those 5 front squats unbroken, that's going to be a good way to help, maximize the flow of these movements and get more rounds. But, whatever you want to do is up to you guys. So here we go, starting with the 15 V-ups. In 3, 2, 1. Go, let's do this, and we're off. Getting these V-ups in, keeping the legs nice and straight. And we are reaching toward the toes or as high as we can. Nice, good, straight legs, straight arms, twins, doing very good here. And we're seeing a lot of good movement here on the V-ups, keeping the legs and arms nice and straight. This is such a powerful movement to train the core and help us to dial in core stability and flexion and strength at the same time. And we are on to some power cleans here. Good work keeping it close to the body, using those glutes to activate the movement, jumping it up, and then receiving back with the hips back. And remember, let's get at least one head of each dumbbell on the ground at the bottom. There we go, good. Doesn't have to be both ends, but at least one end of each dumbbell. There we go, jumping it up, much better, very good. And we are doing these power cleans, keeping the chest up, shoulders back throughout this movement. Good work, everyone. Let's do this. Tapping the ground. And it's very important to keep the chest up, shoulders back, especially at the bottom of the movement. We want to maybe pick a target on the wall opposite us and keep focused on that target throughout the whole movement, especially at the bottom. Much better. And let's remember to point those elbows forward, all right, Samir? There you go. We don't want those elbows flaring out to the side. And some of us are on these squats already. Good job, Bubbles. Keeping the knees out to the side. And let's point those, there you go. Didn't even have to say it. You know what to do. Good. Pointing those elbows nice and forward. And we've got DNA. Just finishing some squats, doing that last one. Very good. Number of us finishing that round one, going on to round two. Let's remember to keep those legs nice and straight on these V-ups, guys. Straight legs, reaching as high as we can toward the toes. Let's make it a goal to do as many of these as we can per round. And like we said, we could break this up if we're still working on the coordination to do the V-up. We could do a combination of leg raises, straight leg sit-ups, and then reaching as high as we can for the last 5. And this is on the longer side of the workouts that we do here. This is 16 minutes long. So we definitely want to pace ourselves. We want to come out slower to start, but as we get toward the end, we're going to put on the afterburners and then start to really kick it in gear. And let's remember, hips before arms, all right, Denise? So glutes first, there you go, much better. Squeeze those glutes, get those elbows nice and high. Much better, good. Fast elbows too. Let's remember those fast elbows. Get them as high as we can. Good job, Pippi, as well. Awesome, very good on these power cleans. Good job, happy feet. Let's just point those elbows more forward instead of out to the side. Much better, good. Very good. Good job on these power cleans, guys. So a number of us are tapping outside the feet. Some of us are tapping inside. Once again, it's just a matter of which movement pattern that we are trying to train more. But I love to see everyone applying this coaching direction, keeping those elbows nice and high. Very good. Good job, Raman. Keeping that chest nice and high, pointing those elbows forward. And let's remember to breathe as well, guys. It's very easy to forget to breathe in these workouts here. We're trying to move as fast as we can. And specifically when we breathe on these movements helps us to keep moving steady. So we want to breathe in on the way down on the squat, out on the way up. There we go. In on the way down, out on the way up. That's what helps us to power through these movements as best as possible. And then on the power clean, we want to take a nice deep breath before we lift and then out at the top. The V-ups are just a super hard movement to breathe through, but we want to breathe in before we move, out at the top. but a lot of us have definitely been working on our core strength and stability. And we've been seeing a lot of progress on you guys. Very good. Let's do this. Hips, hips, hips. Awesome, guys. Keeping it close to the body. Elbows nice and high. Good job, Raman, doing the combination of straight leg sit-ups and leg raises. Awesome. Very good. Let's do this. Let's do this. And even if we're doing the squat stance, tapping inside the feet, let's bring those feet in slightly, Denise. They're a little bit too wide there. You're gonna get a little bit more power now on the way up. You feel that difference? Awesome. Much better. Let's do this Ironman Dean. Come on. Tapping the ground, jumping it up. Elbows nice and high in that receiving position at the top. Doing awesome, guys. Let's do this. Let's keep breathing. Let's keep moving. And let's get those feet not quite so wide in your receiving, Pippi. You're starting super good. So not quite so starfish. Much better, yes. Much more stability. Good work, guys. Come on. And we are doing these power cleans, tapping the ground, jumping it up with the glutes. Awesome. Doing very good. Let's do this. Let's do this. Twins crushing these V-ups. Awesome work, guys. Let's do this. Love to see how super low everyone's getting on these squats. Good job, Sheila. Let's keep this up and knees out to the side. And good breathing as well. I see you incorporating the breathing coaching that we were talking about. It's these deep breaths, deliberate breathing at the right time that's going to help maximize our performance. Good job on the breathing as well, Samira. Very good. Knees out to the side, chest up. Doing good. Nice straight legs, Bubbles. Let's keep that up. Point those toes, point those toes. Very good. Awesome. And let's go ahead and practice, Bubbles. I see you bringing your heels all the way down, but let's go ahead and incorporate that get it to about an inch of the ground. There you go. And then back up. You feel that core burn, right? There you go. That's going to really accelerate the progress of your core strength there. Very good. And good job with that as well, Samira. Keeping those legs nice and straight. And now you're doing the straight leg sit-ups, reaching forward. Awesome. Let's experiment, Samira, with folding those arms across the chest, though. I think you can do that. There you go. You feel that difference? Burns that core a whole lot more. There you go. Let's stay strong, guys. Let's do this. Come on. Good job, DNA. And let's remember to keep breathing, guys. Very easy to forget. We're tapping the ground, using those glutes. Awesome. Good job on these power cleans. Good job, Pippi. Twins, once again, crushing those V-ups. Let's do this. Good job on these power cleans, Samira. Tapping the ground. Very good receiving position. Feet just as wide as they need to be. Nice reset. Awesome. Raman continuing to crush these power cleans. Nice. Good job. Fast elbows. Let's do this. Good reset. And I like how everyone's keeping the chest up, shoulders back. That keeps the back in alignment the way it's supposed to be. So very good. Good job, Mighty Mouse. Let's do this. Come on. Let's bring this intensity. Doing good. Doing good. Getting those dumbbells up to the receiving position on the top. Awesome. Onto those squats. Good job. Good job. Twins crushing these power cleans once again. I like how you guys are getting your hips back more. Let's get those hips back even more in the receiving, Denise. Up, back, stand, much better. Good. Up, back, stand. Come on. I love the focus. Everyone is staying focused. Everyone is moving. Everyone is doing what they're supposed to do. And we are in the thick of this now, guys. You may be wondering how long it's been. Let me go ahead and tell you that we've been in this for more than halfway through. We've got less than 6 minutes left, guys. So let's stay strong. Let's focus. Now might be a time, we've been pacing ourselves. We've been kind of going at a nice steady pace, focusing on our form, which we should continue to do. But let's now start to put the pedal to the metal. Let's start to go a little bit faster here, still incorporating all the coaching cues that we've been talking about. Good job, Incredibles. Let's keep going. Let's do this. Come on. We're moving, we're breathing. We are getting through this. DNA. And there goes their mascot, Noxie, making sure they're really getting this work in. It's nice to have multiple sets of eyes on everyone. Awesome. Let's do this. Samira back on these power cleans, doing good. And I like how Samira, especially in that receiving position, she's been working on this a lot. It's a lot better. Getting those knees out to the side, landing in a quarter squat. Very important for those knees to put outward pressure on them so that they don't cave in. Let's do this, Pippi. Good, nice straight legs. Reaching for those toes. Looks like you've been reaching for the toes pretty much every rep this WOD. Doing good. Definitely seen a lot of improvement on this movement for you. Mighty Mouse crushing these V-ups as well. Good job. We're getting a whole lot of rounds in, guys. There's not going to be even enough chips to count. Let's do this. Good job, Incredibles. There you go. Let's do this. Let's stay strong. Let's keep moving. Awesome, guys. Come on. Now's when we really start to pick up the pace a little bit. We've been pacing ourselves, and now we start to go faster. Still moving well, but now the movement is almost automatic. We're still focusing, but we are moving. Good job, Samira. Crushing these sit-ups now with the arms folded across the chest. And that's the goal here, guys. Just a little bit better every time. If we can change just one thing to make it a little bit better every time, then all of this adds up over time. Good job, Mighty Mouse. Awesome. Let's do this. Come on. Nice deep breaths. Bubble still getting those elbows nice and high. Very good. Come on. Good job, twins. Breathe in. Let's get through this. Let's get through this. We are picking up the pace, increasing that intensity. Come on. Good job, Ramen. Come on. Deep breath before you start. Out at the top. Let's keep it up with these sit-ups. Onto the leg races. Doing good. Point those toes. Let's point those toes. Good job, Pippi, as well on these V-ups. Let's stay strong. Come on. You may be wondering, oh man, he said 6 minutes a couple minutes ago. We're not done yet? Well, now it's time for me to bring the timer on screen so you can see exactly how much time is left. And we are at just over the 90-second mark here, guys. We've got over a minute and a half left. Let's do this. Come on. We are squatting low. We're moving fast now. This is where we really put the pedal to the metal. It's easy to want to slow down toward the end, but this is where the reps really count. This is where we dig deep, and this is where we prove to ourselves how important our goals are to us. Can we get as many reps as possible in these last few seconds? And now we've got less than a minute. The counter is going down fast. And so are we. We are moving fast, moving well, breathing every rep, turning us into the champion we want to be. Let's do this, guys. Come on. Let's stay focused. Good job, Ramen. Let's go. Getting low. Back to these core movements. Let's go, Bubbles. Just over 30 seconds. Every rep making us stronger. Every rep turning us into the version of ourselves that we want to be. Let's do this. Come on, guys. 20 seconds. How many more reps can we get? We're going to keep moving. We don't give up. We keep moving. We keep moving. 10 seconds. Every rep counts. Let's go. Let's go. And 3, 2, 1. Time. That was a long 16 minutes, right? But we've got energy for a victory dance, don't we? Don't you, twins? You got some energy for a victory dance? Yeah, she's working on it. There she goes. Who else is victory dancing? Who's going to join the twins in a victory dance? Mighty Mouse is joining in on this victory dance. Who else is joining in on the victory dance? Who's got energy? Incredibles with incredible energy there. Moving on to this victory dance. Love it. Who else? Samira. Love it, love it. Who's going to show off their moves? Happy Feet. That's how she got her name. Check this out. Look, check that out. Boom. Bubbles. Awesome work, guys. Who else is victory dancing? Let's see. Ramen. Love all the energy, guys. Love it. Well, now it's time for a sweaty selfie, right? Because what's a workout without a selfie? So let's flex on this camera. And here we go. Sweaty selfie. In 3, 2, 1. And crazy face, guys. And let's bring the fists in here for a cheer. On 3, 2 claps, and you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Awesome work, guys. And now it's time for the stretch. Let's go ahead and hit this stretch so we can come back to fight another day. The first stretch we are going to do today is the saddle eagle stretch. So it's helpful to start like this on our knees, and then we sit back like this for the saddle pose. And then all eagle means is we are going to get one elbow on top of the other like this. If we're doing this from the seated position, then let's do the eagle pose here. And while we're in this first stretch, let's reflect on the workout. We're going to play high-low buffalo. We always start with high. High, what is one thing you feel you did well in this workout? Low, what's something you want to do better the next time it comes up in a workout? And buffalo, what's something that surprised you about this workout? And if there's something particularly you want to share and you want to make sure you get called, feel free to use the chat and let me know. But for the first high-low buffalo, let's start with Mighty Mouse. Go ahead. What was your high-low buffalo today?
My high was V-ups, and my low was the power cleans. But my buffalo was the how many rounds I did. Yeah.
Awesome. And I was watching those rounds, and it was just a flurry of action and intensity. Always impressive. Thank you so much, Mighty Mouse, for bringing your all. And let's switch to the other side of this saddle eagle stretch. So we're going to get the other elbow on top of the other one. And while we are over here, let's see if we can hear a high-low buffalo from Evie. Go ahead. Incredible. So what was your high-low buffalo today?
My high, I think was the V-ups. I was able to switch it up a bit, and I gave myself the goal of doing 5 full V-ups, which I accomplished, so that's a high. My low was the squats, need to improve on that. And my buffalo was that I worked pretty much straight through. I didn't take any breaks, so I'm happy about that.
Awesome. Good job. Glad to see the improved stamina and endurance, and I'm really glad to see you reach that milestone of getting all 5 of those V-ups that you were working toward. So good job there. Let's now switch to the dragon stretch, which is where we get one leg forward. We just kind of lean into that lunge. And this is really good for the front hamstring and the back quad. We're just really leaning into this. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then we're going to do a tricep stretch here. We're going to get one elbow up and then pull this to the side. And while we're doing this dragon stretch here, let's see if we can hear a high-low buffalo from DNA. Go ahead, guys. What was your high-low buffalo?
My high was the power cleans. The low was the V-ups. We have this hate-hate relationship. And the buffalo was also the V-ups, because I mixed it up with the leg raises and the straight sit-ups and the V-ups, but I managed to do quite nice V-ups. I don't know.
Yeah, mine's pretty much the same. The power cleans and squats were fine. It was just the V-ups. I couldn't do 15 V-ups all at once. I had to break it up and do like sit-ups, the straight leg sit-ups. I tried to do, but I couldn't do 15 all at once. That was my low and my buffalo. Yeah.
Awesome. And I was noticing your guys' V-ups as well. Your core strength is really coming along well. So super impressive. Thank you so much. And let's switch to the other side of this dragon stretch here. So we're getting that other leg forward. Once again, really leaning into this long lunge position here. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then we are getting that elbow up and we are pulling to the side. And while we're over here, let's hear a high-low buffalo from the twins. Go ahead, twins. What was your high-low buffalo?
I think my high for the squats. Low, let's see. I think those V-ups, the core is always a little tough. But buffalo is that I think I was able to pace it out a little better. So it was as many around the 60 minutes. I started off with the arts of knee shin toe, and then whenever you're like, okay, it's these last minutes, then I switched to straight the V-up. So
my high were the squats, my low were the dumbbell snatches. Is that what it's called? Or I forgot. Power clean. Yeah, power clean. There you go. So yeah, I felt like I could have done better with that. The buffalo I was surprised I'm getting better at the V-ups. Like, it was easier initially. Of course, it starts getting harder, but I didn't take as many breaks as I usually do. So I was happy about that.
Awesome. I'm noticing everyone too taking less breaks. It's always okay to take a break when you need it, but the more we do this program, the less we feel like taking breaks. We learn how to pace better, and we just simply get more stamina and endurance. And I've been noticing that. Very impressed. So thank you so much, twins. Well, that's our stretch today, guys. That's our high-low buffalo. Super impressed with all your performance. So go ahead and give yourselves a round of applause and a pat on the back for getting through this. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a subscribe, a like, and a share. Specifically, let's think of one person who could use this in their life, and let's share it with them personally directly. And that's going to be, a lot more significant for that person. And then make sure the right people who really need it get to see it. So thank you so much, guys, and see you next time.